Good day to everyone and welcome back to the webinar series 2024 by Zoho Forms. Our topic for today is Zoho Forms, a highly adaptive tool for every business. And this is the part 2 and the last session of this topic. We also have a part 1 which has been uploaded onto our Zoho Forms site. So if you would like to view that, you can view it under the recorded webinar section. I've also sent the link to you under handout. So you can view the session there. We also have a lot more recorded webinars available for you, and you can view these at your convenience because these videos are available 24/7. Before we begin, please ensure that you have signed into your Zoho account. If you wish to mirror our actions, you may need admin privilege to access certain features within Zoho Forms. And finally, please do not experiment with existing settings. Create a test instance if you would like to follow along with our hands-on. So let's begin with our agenda today. And our agenda starts off with me giving you an introduction of what our session is about today, followed by a breakdown of the features aimed at helping businesses everywhere. So today we'll go over payments and order forms and how you can use the payment field within Zoho Forms. And then under admin related tasks, we have advanced analytics and multi-level approvals, which help you simplify your administrative process. Finally, you can manage data collaboratively with our reports option. And the last thing that we'll be covering today is a topic that I'm very excited to touch upon. It's about our mobile app, our mobile forms app, which I think a lot of attendees either have not used or they are not quite familiar with. So hopefully this webinar session will give you a good overview as to what our mobile app contains and if it's useful for you and for your business. So before we start off with our first topic, I would like you to picture this. Suppose you are a business selling products or services, or if your business is retail focused, where you have to sell products or services and price them accordingly and collect payments after your pricing. How would you go about this? Or let me give you another example. If you are a non-profit collecting money from people, from donors, or if you are raising money for a local cause within your department, it could be any amount where you're collecting from your colleagues or your friends. How would you go about this as well? So if any of these use cases ring a bell with you, our first topic for today would be our first feature for today would be very useful for you and for your business as well. So how does Zoho Forms make all these different scenarios possible? It is with the help of our dynamic payments field, which helps you collect secure payments through our forms. So our dynamic payments field allows respondents to send payments for orders, registrations, and donations through secure payment gateway integrations. Zoho Forms supports third-party payment merchants, including PayPal, Stripe, Razorpay, and more, to make the payment process safe and easy for both users and their customers. If you look at the screen, we have all the payment portals that are available currently shown here. As you can see, we have Paystack, we have Stripe, Paytabs, Paytm, and more. You can pre-select the currency of your choice in the payment settings. Zoho Forms offers over 20 supported currencies, 23 currencies to be exact, for you to choose from select payment gateways, so you can run your business from wherever you are located. Now we have two types of payment modes available, the fixed payment modes and the modifiable amount payment mode. And as I mentioned before, the fixed payment amount is especially useful for retail and for order and booking forms. And the modifiable payment amount is useful for charities and non-profits, where they can collect a range of amount, or they can give their respondents a range of amount to choose from and to donate. A good thing to note is that all the formula and conditional formula that you have configured within your form gets pre-filled or pre-populated when you select the autofill payment option. And this is a feature that I'll be showing you when I'm trying our hands-on for the payment feature which is coming up soon. You can set up automatic workflows to activate after a successful payment. You can process approvals and send email confirmations or SMS notifications to customers or to your teammates. You can also process integrations and trigger workflows configured using your form rules, all by simply enable the option which is being shown on the screen. So with this, we've had a quick look at how the payment field works and what are the payment features that we have to offer. So I'll show this in real time with the help of our hands-on session for today. But before I jump into the hands-on, I'd also like to mention that we have a good library of e-commerce form templates available for you within our form template library. So if you would like to quickly create a form that is e-commerce based, something like a delivery feedback form or an order form, you can select one of the form templates and you can go ahead with it. These form templates are also fully customizable, so you can customize them to your preferred needs. So with this, we'll jump into our hands-on for today, which is a hands-on of the payment field. This is the only hands-on we'll be doing today, so I hope that you can join in if you would like to. So I am to do our hands-on of the payment field, I'm going to go into our Zoho Forms and build a form. I already have built a form here using one of our templates, and this is a service order form. I'm not going to go in detail into how you build a form because we can cover that in another webinar. If you would like me to, please let us know in the chat tab or in the questions tab, and we'll take this up in the future. So I built a form and I have the name, phone number, address fields. I've also added my service options with the help of our image upload field option. So this you will find in the advanced fields. We have our image choices field here. Image upload and image choices are two different things, so please don't get confused. Image choices is what I've used here. So I've put in my choices. I've given my respondents choices for the home services that they'd like, whether it's pest control, deep cleaning, and disinfection or more. I've also added in a few more fields here. And finally, I'm adding in a payment field. So before I get into the payment field, I'd like to do one specific thing, that is to assign value to all my services. So I have, for example, this electrician service here, and I'm going to assign a value of $100 or 100 rupees to this service so that I can see how it works later on within the payment field where it gets autofilled. So as you can see, I've added in all the services here, and I've given a numeric value to all these services. So to do this, I'm just going to click on that plus button, upload my image, label it, and I'm going to add the value. So this is just me showing how you can do that. And once I'm happy with the values I've assigned to my choices, that is to my services or to my products, I'm going to move on to adding my payment field. So you can drag and drop your payment field here. Your payment field is available under advanced fields right on top there. So we have a lot of payment gateways that you can choose from. We have a lot of payment merchants that you can choose from, and you need to click on add a merchant. And today I'm going to add a Stripe payment portal here. So I'm just going to fill in this information using some dummy information that we have. This is simply for test purposes, so this would not work otherwise. I've added in this. I've selected my currency. Now this is where our assigned values to our field fall in. So I'm going to select my payment amount as auto-filling from my form field. If I wanted to click a fixed value, I can just add it in here. And this would be the payment amount that your customers see every time they fill in the form with whether they choose whatever services that they choose. This is the amount that's going to be shown. But this is not what I want to show them now. I want the amount to be autofilled from my form field because I've set the prices there. So I'm going to click on Home Services, which is the field where I had assigned the values for. And this is also information that you need to fill in. And we're just going to leave it as is for now. You can also trigger many workflows such as approvals, notifications, rules, and also trigger integrations upon successful payment. And you can enable this option here in your forms. So once I'm happy with the payment portals that I've selected, I'm going to click on Save. So now if my respondent accesses my form, they can just fill it in and add in whatever information that's required, and they can select their services. So I'm just going to show you how the payment field shows my amount as 0 right now. But if I select a service, because I assigned values to that services, it gets added. The amount $100 gets added to my payment field. Similarly, if I select another service, it becomes $200. So with this, I have set up my form. So the price gets automatically calculated for my respondent as and when they select a service or a product that they would like to buy. Today, I'm going to try paying with Stripe. Type in the card number. The values that I've entered here, the card number and whatnot, are all just dummy numbers. So they would not work in real time. And I'm going to book my service. And that's how my payment form is successfully submitted. And if this was a real time scenario, the amount would be debited from my card. So with this, we've gone over how a service order form works, or an order form with a pre-filled amount works. I'll go over how you can do the image choices again. So I'll just add it into the form once more. So I'm just going to add an image choice, or you can also do this with a radio. So I'm just going to add so just something like this. I've entered some examples I'm going to assign values to that. So how I did that was I entered the values here, and in the advanced option here on the top right hand corner of your choices, you click on assign values, and I'm going to assign a numeric value to my services, and click on save. And this is how you add your values to your services, and this is how your payment will also reflect this when you autofill from these fields, when you autofill the payment amount from these fields. So I hope that this gave you a quick glance at how our payment field works in our order forms or service booking forms, and more. With this, I'll give you a minute to try out the payment field yourself or to ask any questions that you have for us before we jump right into our next topic for today. So while I wait for any questions to roll in, I'd like to ask you a question of my own, and that is, how often in your line of work have you needed to use an order form or anything akin to a payment field? Thank you so much for participating. And now we'll move on from payments. So, an extremely important part of running a successful business is to stay on top of your administrative tasks. And Zoho Forms helps you deal with many of these tasks. And today we'll focus on two main features that contribute to admin ease, and that is the advanced analytics option and multi level approvals feature available within Zoho Forms. So we'll start off with form analytics. So once your form is shared and your responses start coming in, Zoho Forms provides simple built-in analytics for each form. You can find out the form views, submissions, error scores, and conversion rate in the analytics page. And this is what your analytics page will look like. And everything that you see here is pretty simple and understandable, so I'll go over them one by one. On the left here you see form views. This is basically the number of times your forms have been viewed. Submissions shows how many form submissions that you have received, and the same goes for error score. Error score gives you the number of times your form has an error was thrown while a respondent tried submitting your form. And finally, we have the conversion rate, which shows the conversion between how many people have viewed your form and how many have actually filled them in and submitted them. Now you can view these metrics date wise, as a monthly or yearly, and also view them as region with the help of this map here. Or you can also switch to advanced analytics, which is an option available on the right hand side corner. And advanced analytics gives you a lot more information on the performance of your forms. And this is what we're going to get into right now. So the advanced analytics helps you gain comprehensive real-time insights into data from desktop and mobile devices. So as you can see the number of submissions that you get from people or respondents using submitting forms via desktop or via mobile phone, and you can also see the time spent to fill in the form and to submit it. So you can see how long your form takes on an average for a respondent to submit. You can visualize and compare data across categories to identify trends and make informed decisions with the help of form metrics. Now, form metrics once again gives you a lot of information such as form views, the number of starts to your forms, submissions, error score, conversion rate, and more. I've explained most of these already, so I won't get into them. They're quite simple to understand. Next, you can measure and improve form field effectiveness by studying user interactions and behavior on a field level with the help of our field metrics. So, this gives you information such as the form views and clicks per field, so you can see how each field is doing and if there's any drastic changes in any fields due to errors that may be there within your fields. Similarly, we can do the same with page metrics. You can analyze page views to optimize multi-page form completion rates and enhance your user experience. So you can see how each page in your form is doing if you have a multi-page form. And finally, with the help of the drop-off count, you can identify problematic fields, reduce drop-offs, and increase the number of submissions. So you can see if there are any fields that have triggered a lot of drop-offs in your form submissions. So this could be due to many reasons. For one simple example is if a field is not labeled easily or correctly, it could be misunderstood as something else, and it could confuse a lot of respondents, leading to drop-off counts increasing in your forms. The same goes for field instructions that are being given, which may be unclear, or if a field is too complicated or too complex to understand. So with the help of the drop-off count and the metrics given to you with this information, you can change up the fields, you can fix them so that your forms perform a lot better and you have a lot more submissions. So with this, we've gone over how you can view a lot of your form analytics. So I would like to ask you one more question before we move on to the next topic, and that is, have you used form analytics before? And if yes, have they helped you identify the pain points in your form and rework them to perform better? Once again, thank you so much for participating in our polls and questions for today. So we'll move on to another very exciting topic for today. And before we delve into it, I want you to picture this. Now, suppose you have a leave application that needs to be submitted, or a project proposal within your department, or a budget proposal, or something of that sort. And this needs the approval of your higher ups or of your teammates and colleagues as well. Generally, would you have faced a lot of paperwork and time consuming? Would you have faced a lot of time consuming paperwork in this approval process? So, if you can imagine this and if this resonates with you, then we have a perfect solution to simplify your approval process, and that is with the help of the Zoho Forms multi level approval system. So Zoho Forms this multi-level approvals digitizes a lot of your approval process, reduces the stress of paperwork on you, and also makes things a lot quicker because it's digitized and it's all in one place. There's no place to lose any of your leave applications or approval letters. So you can set up a hierarchical or multi-level approval workflows that allow your teammates and peers to review form submissions. So you can configure multiple levels of approval to make your process more efficient and easier to manage. Your approvers at each level can review the form submissions, denying or approving form entries for a smoother flow of data. You can automate subsequent workflows based on these approvals and create an efficient system that works just for you. For example, you can trigger integrations only upon successful approvals by enabling these workflows in your forms. Zoho Forms lets you have control over the finer details of your approval workflow by letting you manage minute aspects of the entire process. For example, you can choose the form fields that can be overwritten by approvers at each level in your form and give read and write access to specific fields to your approvers. So you can see in this image here, you can give read and write access to approvers, and you can also select which fields that they can approve and which fields need to be overwritten. Now you can set up notifications at certain instances and for each action. For example, when approvers are added, when new approvers are added to a form, when a form submission is received for review, and when a form submission is either approved or denied. You can make email notifications fully contextual by adding field tags into the emails from using form in user input data, and you can add teammates to email chains and do much more and make these notifications much more customized for your needs. Finally, you can set up an approval admin to approve on behalf of approvers in case they are unavailable. You can have an option to trigger integrations set up for a form only once a form response is approved. So the approval admin will take over if someone in your team is unavailable or is on leave to take up an approval process in the forms. And this way you can make sure that no approval chain gets broken or it gets delayed too much, because you have an approval admin set up as well. So with this, we've gone over how you can ease up your administrative tasks, how you can make administrative tasks easy with the help of form analytics, which gives you a great insight into how your forms are performing and helps you rework on the back-end systems of your form. And also, we have the multi-level approval system, which simplifies a lot of the approval process by simply digitizing it with the help of Zoho Forms. And with this, we'll move on to how you can work collaboratively now that the administration side of your business is set up. We're going to speak about how you can manage data collaboratively. And with this, we're going to specify on our form reports and how you can share them and export them as well. So an extension of administrative tasks would be to manage your data collaboratively, and form reports allows you to view and sort through consolidated form data in an easy and organized manner. So we offer two types of views for reports, the list view and the Kanban view. In the following slides, I will show you how you can compare both these views with each other visually, and you can use whichever feels better for you. So first, I'm giving you a look at the list view. And this, as you can see, shows data arranged in neat tabular columns. And this is a view that you're probably familiar with because this is what we've been using all this while. And the newer addition to our form reports is the Kanban view, which allows you to view form entries sorted as lists based on user input for radio and drop-down fields in your form. So an important thing to note is that you can only view your reports in the Kanban format if your form contains a radio or a drop-down field. So as you can see in the GIF that I'm showing you, this is how your Kanban view is shown, and all the reports are listed under each of these title headings there. So with form reports, you can consolidate data by setting up custom filters in your reports. So you can set up custom filters so you don't have to view form entries that may be irrelevant to you. You can also customize the view of the choice fields in your form data by color blocking, in your fields data by color blocking. And this you can see is as shown in the list view, where these options are color blocked, and similarly in the Kanban view as well. Finally, you can share your reports, and this is quite similar to how you can share forms as well. So, I won't be getting too much into detail with this, and I'll just be showing you how the different ways in which you can share your reports. And the first way is, of course, sharing them via a public sharing URL. You can also share your reports privately by emails to specific users or to all the users in your organization. And you can embed your reports with the help of the iframe, HTML button, and hyperlink options. So you can embed them into web pages or wherever is necessary for you to view this information. And you can also export and print your reports as CSV or PDF files. So with the list view, you can export them as both CSV and PDF files. And with the Kanban view of the reports, you can export them as CSV files, and you can also print them out with or without comments added to the form reports. So if you have any notes to be added to form reports, you can add them as comments and you can print that out. So before we move on to the last topic for today, I would like to ask you one question, and that is, do you often have to work on the go or do you travel for your work? So, if you are someone who has to often work on the go and if you have to travel for your work, then our next topic for today, which is the mobile forms app, is a perfect solution for you because it is a compact solution tailored for businesses everywhere. So now that we have sorted through our administrative work, we've managed to data share and consolidate our data and work on it collaboratively with the help of reports. And we've also seen how you can manage the order and e-commerce forms or booking forms with the help of payments. We're going to move on to how a business can be on the go and still not lose a lot of information with the help of our mobile forms app. So our Zoho Forms mobile app is available on both Android and iOS. And you can use the QR codes shown here if you would like to download the app and try it out for yourself. So we have the option of equipping your mobile team working at remote job sites with powerful offline forms with the help of the mobile forms app. The fully functional offline forms software lets you create and view forms offline and collect data. The forms and entries collected will sync with your account when you are connected to the internet. So one of the major features that we have available with the mobile forms app is the offline forms feature where you can collect data offline very easily and it all gets synced when you're back online. So if you have a flight to catch or if you're running somewhere or if you're working offsite where there is not a lot of where your bandwidth is low or you don't have internet signal, then this is a great way to keep a track of your data and you won't lose any data at all because you've gone offline. You can report job statuses from sites with live pictures and reports. Take a snap with your phone's camera and instantly upload it to your mobile form. Attach documents and files from your mobile device and update the tasks from anywhere with the help of our image uploads and files option from your phone itself. You can also scan codes with your mobile phones, convert your smartphone's camera into a reliable code scanner, and this eliminates human error while manually entering data and filling out form fields by scanning QR codes or barcodes. So you can save time and avoid costly mistakes with our code scanner for mobile forms. Similarly, you can also scan business cards to collect contacts with the help of the Mobile Forms app. Relieve yourself from the pain of maintaining all your clients' business cards. Instantly scan the text on a business card and auto populate the relevant contact fields in your form with our intuitive app. save your contacts to a database, and instantly trigger business workflows. And this is great for lead generation and for when you're at expos and other events where you may need to save a client or contact information on the go as well. You can also transform your phones into data collection kiosks. So you can turn your smartphone or your tablet into a password protected kiosk and collect data with forms that automatically reset after each submission. Use your mobile devices to collect feedback, generate leads, and gather contacts in shops, at events like trade shows and conferences and expos, and more. You can authorize your form entries with signatures from clients or the task owner, replace pen and paper with digital forms, and instantly collect signatures from anyone. So, if there's a task that is being completed on site, you can immediately get it signed and marked as finished by the task owner, and all this can be done real time. And finally, you can automatically capture the coordinates of job sites that do not have a physical address when filling out a mobile forms. Autofill address fields with a single tap and eliminate the pain of manually typing the entire address with the help of our capture location coordinates with geolocation option. So if you're on site and if you are away from if you are away from some place where with a physical address, this is great for you because this the geolocation option just captures your location and autofills it. And with this, we've gone over the uses and use cases and scenarios that you can use your mobile forms app with. So if you find any of these use cases that could be useful, I think it's a good time to check out the mobile forms app as well, and you can explore that at your convenience. And as I mentioned before, we have support personnel available always to help you out with anything. And we also have a wealth of information available in our user guides and help documents uploaded onto our site. So if you need help with anything, you can always refer to that. And with this, we've gone over our webinar and we've covered all the topics and all the features that we have available that can help you potentially with your businesses. And I'll give you a few minutes now to ask any questions that you have. So while the question and answers run in the background, I'll give you a quick recap of what we went over today. So we discussed how you can collect secure payments with Zoho Forms, followed by going over multi-level approvals and advanced analytics. We discussed the mobile forms app, and I hope that this has made you a lot more familiar with the mobile forms app if you were unfamiliar with it before. And we had a hands-on for our payment field. And finally, we have the Q&A round, which is still running. If you would like to reach out to us, if you have any queries, you can reach out to us at support@zohoforms.com. And we would deeply appreciate any feedback that you have for us at feedback@zohoforms.com. So if you have any feedback, any suggestions or criticisms, we are glad to accept anything from you, and we will definitely reach out to you and follow up with your emails. And with this, I'd like to thank you for joining another session of our webinar series. And I hope that I'll see you again in our upcoming sessions. They're being planned as I talk right now, as I speak. So thank you so much for joining once again. It was a pleasure seeing you, and I hope to see you again in the future.